appreciated, folks. Your ego and fighting. This is 17 minutes long. Let's see what he's got to say. Oh God, bro, relax.
Sample. Look at this again. He keeps doing it over and over.
This game just came out, bro. This is Tekken 8. We already got people raging over it.
How do you stop that one fucking move? I don't know.
No more heroes, it's hero, be killer, catch on nobody but yourselves, nothing less to do.
Travis, it's kill or be killed.
I need a video like this. Nah, yeah, big facts.
This is something I think is very important. Like, it's a very important topic of discussion, not only in FGC, but in life in general. And it can be a hard lesson for most to learn. So this is why I kind of wanted to speak about it today. I've done this topic in the past, but I
can already tell this is going to be good.
Or discussion that it truly deserved.
Let's kick back and
I just have more to say about the subject too. So it's something I wanted to bring up. And it's something that affects around 90% of people in the FGC. It's something you can see all over Twitter, all over the internet. And that's ego. Like I said before, it doesn't only affect people in the FGC, but in all genres of life, regardless if you're rich, poor, and other things of that nature. It's just something we should talk about more. And some people are like, you know what? I don't have an ego, but in the rare case that you don't, you're one of the good ones. But there's a lot of people out there that do. And fighting games specifically recently being in a renaissance, there's more people than ever before playing fighting games. There's more fighting games out right now that are all good than there have been for a very long time. We have Mortal Kombat 1. Well, it started out on a decent note, but it's kind of on a decline right now. We had Tekken 8, which is really good. Street Fighter 6, which is dope. We have Under Night Birth 2. We have a lot of indie games in the scene as well that are doing really good. And a lot of new people are getting into fighting games right now more than it seems like they've ever have been, because fighting games are getting easier and easier to play. The barrier to entry is lowering dramatically, and a lot of modern fighting games are making the effort to give you the practice tools, the replays, the systems to actually pick these things up and learn, even though they've been out for 10 plus years at this point. And more people getting into fighting games is like a great thing, you know, why wouldn't people like that? But however, it comes with a little bit of a caveat. If you're familiar with the Scroll Quotes page on Twitter, if you guys aren't, it's a page that captures the saltiest, most toxic takes in fighting games. And typically you'll catch in the forums and people's DMs and messages, stuff like that, just people saying the most egregious things.
It's crazy the variety of opinions you're gonna get. Like, I thought he'd say Street Fighter's great. He said Tekken's great. He didn't say Street Fighter's great. But then the other guy said Mortal Kombat was great. I'm like, what?
To other people and making excuses for why they weren't doing well. Like salt, anger, people getting toxic. Basically, people blaming everything except themselves.
This sounds like Tinky.
For a loss. And it's kind of sad to see.
He's describing Tinky.
But, you know, anything from the sun was in my eyes, my feet hurt, my wrists, I haven't rolled them out yet. You know, your character's buttons are too good. Who decided it was a good idea to give King 50 million throws? Which that part is a little bit valid. It can be a little daunting trying to break that man's throws and you don't know the breaks. Plus, we just got more gameplay of the Sparking Zero trailer with Goku and Vegeta going through all their forms, which was pretty cool. I think the only one we didn't see in the trailer is Ultra Instinct. But yeah, when I bring up ego, when I bring up anger in fighting games, I'm not talking about the people who just like playing and mashing buttons, seeing cool stuff fly across the screen and just having a good time. I'm mainly talking about the people both new and old who, no matter what, can't take responsibility for their losses. And when you do that, it's kind of like putting a mental block in your head, subconsciously or consciously, saying that you don't want to get better. Because if you don't do that self-reflection, that internalization, and just take a moment to step back and look at what happened and what you could have done better.
I can tell this guy is good at fighting games. I can already tell.
Like your character is better than mine. All you did was spam. All you did was mash. You only did one combo. There's no skill in that. But when you see people say stuff like that, when they're downplaying their opponent constantly, they don't realize they're downplaying themselves as well. Because when you say like, oh, you only did one thing, you spammed the same move, you just kept spamming the same mistake. Or a series of mistakes that this one option beat everything you did. And you're telling me in that time, you couldn't figure out to either block, try something new, or just sit back and be patient. You know, not everybody's gonna be able to figure out everything in the moment, and that's not exactly what I'm saying here. Really just the people who blame their losses on things like those and don't take that moment to be like, okay, well, I could have done something different. You never like fighting games, man? All that button mashing and combos, they tore you apart? You show go self-affecting gameplay because I don't know better and it's hard to say what I could have done better. And yeah, I'm gonna get to that too, Rosie, because that's a big part of fighting games. That is a huge part of fighting games. It's big. But like I said before, when you're going against somebody and you see,
yo, he really is cooking people.
Do it too, where they're constantly downplaying their opponent and saying how trash they are, but they're losing.
This man said Yo, y'all can't think up the solution to this puzzle on the spot while I'm putting these fucking heavy punches in your face? Nah.
They're losing and they're losing bad, like horribly. Like it won't even be close sometimes, most of the time. And that's honestly the
The
hardest part
video
about
is sped up,
fighting
Tinky.
games, though. Admitting that you're not as good as you thought you were. Like having to realize that like I'm not as good as I thought I was. Like, you know, there's tons of people who play at family gatherings, who play with their friends, and they're like, man, I can beat everybody here. The moment I go online and ranked, it's somebody who has the name, you know, like Fried Bagels, and they're touch of deathing me. They're doing a 0 to 100% combo, and there's nothing I can do about it. Or Captain Waffles is coming in here with the king chain throws, and there's nothing I can do to break them. And all of a sudden, I'm getting bodied. What do I do? You know, why can I be my friends and I can't be, you know, everybody else? Or I'm good enough to be only my friends, so they don't want to play with me. But the moment I hop on ranked and hop on online and start playing, I can't beat anybody else. It can make for a lonely experience sometimes, man. Watching Max let me know I can do absolutely nothing.
That
about how
is
to play
that
fighting
is
games.
like a
Wait,
little
that you know
conundrum.
absolutely nothing about fighting games. I misread that. It can be like that though, man. Like,
Tinky said, I be saying people are trash when I lose, but the difference is the second I calm down, I'm like, yeah, I needed to do this differently. Yeah, of course. Of course. Of course, you got to take your time and you got to analyze. Sometimes I be catching myself, like I'll do jump in and then I'll do like jab. Well, I'll do like jump in and I'll do my block string. And I'm like, bro, they never press any buttons, but I didn't switch to grab. Why did it take me 4 matches to switch to grab? That's on me.
ain't gonna lie, Scorpion from MK10 drove me up a wall. I'll fight anybody else in that carry, but a Scorpion spammer gives me a headache. But the part about realizing that there's more for you to learn is that you can always improve. I think that's
you can always
what people
improve.
realize about half.
Yo, and ignorance. The way to beat Jin Rai is if you don't hear him scream Jin Rai, just mash ODDP. And then if he starts to catch on, he won't do the last kick of the Jin Rai kick, and he'll just block, and then he'll block your DP. So what you do is you do the ODDP to beat his Jin Rai, and then when you think he's not going to finish it and give you the chance to beat him out, just grab instead. That's what I do.
Halfway through, it's like once you hit that wall, some people might just give up, but other people are like, okay, well, I don't know about this, and this. Like if you go against a Scorpion spammer in Mortal Kombat and he's spamming teleport, you're like, okay, he's spamming teleport. I know what he's doing. I don't have the answer for it. So most people will kind of just drop it then and there and just be like, I'm not going to fight any Scorpion I see. But if you learn how to beat the teleport, or if you're just patient and block and wait for what he does next, that can open up a new avenue of getting better, of learning, of improving at the matchup, and all of a sudden the character is not as scary as it used to be. But yeah, like that's how it is in fighting games, Lozzy, because after a while when you play them for such a long time, when you're practicing combos, that's both the blessing and the curse.
Tinky, I'm down if you want.
It doesn't take a lot to remember after doing them for so long and after playing for so long. Not even just like so long, but a lot of them aren't nearly as complicated as most people make them out to be. If you want to win a game just using one combo or not even using combos,
Yo,
and
no
just
Soul, are you
blocking
here?
and punching someone in the face, you could win like that. I've done it before. I've seen people do it in tournament. I've seen somebody win a tournament, a major tournament, without using combos.
Yo, I
Beat
bet.
everybody else without using a
You
single,
don't need
like,
combos.
optimal combo, bread and butter string. Like I think his hits were 3 or 4, maybe max. And that wasn't even his main game. Now the guy who did it was really good, but at the same time, when you think about it, he didn't have to do too much to win.
You don't need much.
But going forward though, this is one of the things too, like I said before, as long as you're playing fighting games, you're constantly self-reflecting. It's not like other games.
Tinky, didn't I tell you this? That's one of the beauties about fighting games, is that they force you to be introspective. They force you to look within. They force you to figure out, what are my limitations? What am I struggling with? What can I not do? How can I get there? Oh, it's tough. It's tough. It's a beautiful journey though.
Or Siege or League of Legends or Overwatch and stuff like that, where you can say, oh, my support wasn't healing me when I went in as a tank, they didn't follow up with me.
Tinky, the other night when I was grabbing you for the whole entire match, I was trying to out neutral you. I was trying to figure out where you'd be, get there first, and have the drop and get the grab.
You know, that really sucked. But at the same time, if you're just like, all right, let me move past that, let me see what I could have done better, like that's what matters the most. What you're feeling in the heat of the moment doesn't make you a bad person and doesn't make you any less of a player or anything else like that. It's what you do afterwards that determines how good you are. That's the biggest thing. But like I said, when you say there's something I could have done better, it gives you something to improve on, and that gives you something to work towards. Which
Ignorance in Street Fighter, there's very few checkmate scenarios in which there's nothing you can do. There's very few. Very, 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 very few. There's always something you can do. And you know what? If you get yourself in a checkmate scenario, there's always something that you could have done along the way that would have prevented you from getting there. There's always something that you could do. Always, always, always. Oh, well, no. That sometimes there's nothing you can do. The guy who's playing you is just too good. They understand the game too much. It's just, but that's not a knock on you or your skill set. That is just a, honestly, to me, that's exciting because that means that there is more to learn, and I enjoy learning the game. That's how I view it. That's exciting to me.
Gives you another step forward to solving that issue and solving that problem, instead of just saying, you know, I suck, or man, I'm trash, or I can't do anything about that. When people say like, oh man, I suck, or I'm not good at fighting games, or I'm bad at this, and this, they're halfway there. They're halfway there. Well, one thing is that self-deprecation, right? We normally try to minimize that as much as possible. But if you're real,
See, ignorance, you gotta minimize the self-deprecation. Listen to this guy.
realizing that you're not the best or you're not good, you're halfway there to realizing there's something you can work towards to improve or get better at the thing that you suck at. And that's huge. Some people think they're good and make excuses for the rest of their lives and never get better. Some people are really bad at fighting games and they're like, no, I'm pretty good, and never improve. That's when you really do suck. That's when it's really bad. But like being like I suck and not improving and not doing anything about it is like doing all the work to solve a math problem and stopping just short of writing down a solution. That's the biggest part of that. When you realize there's a problem and you're doing nothing to solve it. Not everybody wants to play fighting games. Not everybody wants to like hop in or get better or get good, and that's completely fine. I'm not saying that if you play fighting games you automatically have to get better, but I'm saying if you find yourself constantly getting frustrated and being like, I should be able to beat this person, I should be able to beat this guy, then
Tinky, how many times have I heard you say I should be able to beat this guy? How many times, Tinky?
that time it's time to see what you could be doing better. It's time to improve. If you're finding yourself constantly saying that and getting upset because you're not as good as you think you should be. Cammy beat me so bad I got PTSD now when I see him. That means that's it, I'm gonna chill now. Yeah. Like if you're finding yourself like upset, like when you see Azucena and Tekken 8, I've seen some people go, oh my god, like this character, she keeps talking about coffee and whooping my ass, bro. Like I'm tired of this. She's dancing, she's doing mix-ups, she's twerking on me, she's got a smile on her face, she's rushing me. There's nothing I can do about this. What do I do? At that point, it's time to sit back and actually look at your replays, go into practice mode, and try to learn